So, you want to stand? Well, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that stands aren't real.
What?
No, alright. I know that sounds bad.
The good? There ain't any. Like I said, stands aren't real.
You shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up!
Despite this, Jojo has provided many ways one can achieve a stand within the universe. Once a stand is achieved, the stand user can utilize them in a variety of ways to help achieve their goals, unless they're cheap trick.
Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
The first and most simple way to achieve a stand is to be born with one. It's unknown how many people in the world get them through this way, but we know that characters like Kakyoin and Polnareff had them since birth. Those born with stands have the ability to train them for much longer than others, making them stronger over the years. Abdul, for example, has precise control of his stand due to years of training with it. There exist those that have a stand, but are not aware of it, making them lay dormant for years until a certain event triggers them. If one isn't born with a stand, it's possible to trigger one with the use of a stand arrow, a tool created for the specific purpose of unlocking stands. Around 50,000 years ago, a meteor crashed into Earth. This was no normal meteorite, but one containing a powerful virus which at first glance kills anyone who comes in contact with it. One man fashioned the minerals from the meteorite into arrows, which would then eventually be used down the line. When one makes contact with the arrows, they immediately achieve a stand. However, those who are not worthy just die normally. A variety of people possess stand arrows and can create powerful stand users quickly. If a stand arrow makes contact with someone who already has a stand, there will be no effect. However, there are instances where a stand can be powered up to a massive degree. These are called Requiem stands, and although we've only seen 2 of them, they possess a massive amount of power. They also inherit wills of their own. The abilities they obtain are dependent on the will and goal of the user. Polnareff wanted to protect the arrow, so the Requiem ability turns one's soul against them. Giorno wanted to overcome an ability that could skip time and avoid fate, so his stand reverses time in a way and forces enemies to never reach the truth. However, just like obtaining a stand, the arrow may reject you again, preventing a Requiem stand from surfacing. Those who have awakened stands with the arrow will indirectly cause anyone who shares the same blood to awaken their stands too. This is what happened with Jotaro and his mom. Some people's bodies are incapable of handling stands, so they develop a sickness that may kill them. However, the body can overcome the sickness, in which those affected gain a stand, although it might be because of the stand's healing properties. There exist stands that grant stand abilities to others. Black Sabbath forcibly stabs you with an arrow after the fire on a lighter is undone, but it's using a stand arrow, so everything I've mentioned about them still apply. Whitesnake can give you a stand once it inserts a related disc into you. It's unknown if there's any form of compatibility involved, but Whitesnake can store these stand abilities for a long time. Unlike stand arrows, they aren't hinted to kill the inheritor. Just like stand arrows, the disc can be inserted into animals and give them stand abilities instead. The Devil's Palm is a hand-shaped piece of land that moves randomly throughout America. Those who pass through the Devil's Palm die most of the time. However, those who somehow survive are granted stands as a reward. This is due to the corpse parts, whose energy is imbued into the Devil's Palm, and thus allows one to unlock a stand. Speaking of corpse parts, absorbing any part of the corpse also grants you a stand. The corpse parts coming out of you in any way will make you lose that stand, but having a tiny part inside of you will allow you to keep the stand. Mastering or evolving the stand granted from the corpse will make the stand yours forever, even if a part of the corpse is taken. When all parts of the corpse are gathered, they grant a user massive boost in power similar to a Requiem stand. D4C may have originally only been able to travel to other dimensions, but the fully assembled corpse parts now allows it to redirect any misfortune to another period in time. The assembled corpse parts also has the ability to draw all good things towards itself. The spin is a phenomenon that grants a rotation to almost anything. A spin user's main goal is to eventually achieve an infinite rotation, which the full rotation of a horse running in their natural state can achieve. It's actually possible to manifest a stand with this. Ballbreaker is a stand that manifested from infinite rotational energy. Since most stands are born from a user's soul energy, this makes Ballbreaker a special case. It's even hinted that any user of the spin or steel balls can achieve Ballbreaker. It's unknown what the stand stats of Ballbreaker is, but it seems to have extremely powerful abilities. For one, it may have some sort of time acceleration ability, showing when it forced one half of Valentine's body to rapidly age. Its abilities could be similar to Sea Moon or Made in Heaven on a smaller scale. This is just speculation, but perhaps Ballbreaker could also force one into an infinite rotation spin similar to Tuskak 4. Speaking of which, using a spin or infinite rotation energy can help power up a stand to a massive degree, allowing them to defeat stands which could have been seen as unstoppable early on. The Walleyes are a set of rocks featuring holes in their foundation caused by a sudden mysterious earthquake. Getting near or falling into the faults of these Walleyes seem to gain you a stand. A bite mark appears on your leg as an indicator. It's unknown what causes these bite marks, or even if the Walleyes are truly responsible, but they seem to have something to do with it. Yasuo, Toru, and Kira had stands from a young age, indicating that the Walleyes may not be the cause. Similar to the Devil's Palm, there could be something in or around the land that caused the Walleyes to form. We may have to wait until part 9 to fully learn the truth. Like I mentioned before, it's not possible to have any more than one stand. Any attempt will simply result in nothing happening. The only exception is potentially Ballbreaker, who technically isn't a stand in a traditional sense. With all these ways to get stands, and the stand users' tendency to be attracted tows one another, the Joestars won't ever run out of stand users to help showcase their power.